The following is a hockey podcast out of Vancouver and Surrey, British Columbia. It'll only consist of a lot of puck talk and even more BS, or in actual words, banter and satire. Enjoy, and as always, go Canucks go.
I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew, baby. Let's go. The Vancouver Canucks can't stop winning, and guess what? They just ended the Edmonton Oilers season. We're letting the hate flow through our blood here. It's Beggsy and it's Bhawan, and you're listening to Locked On Canucks.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Locked On Canucks. My name is Trevor Beggs, co-host here of Locked On Canucks, and also a Canucks writer over at Daily Hive Vancouver. Before we dive into the show, we want to thank you for listening to Locked On Canucks. It's your team, no scratch that, your Canucks every day. Make sure you subscribe or follow for free on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. I also got to let you know that today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 money line bet. That's $150 if your team wins. Woo! Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon today to get started. On today's episode, we're going to talk about not only the Canucks' resounding win over the Edmonton Oilers, but over 3 Canucks wins against Edmonton this season. I could say that they've presumptively ended the Edmonton Oilers Stanley Cup hopes for 2023-2024. Call me crazy, but that's the lead topic on today's show. Also going to touch on some of the records that the Canucks continue setting early on in the season. And finally, we'll save the best for last with Komment Korner. But before we do that, let me introduce the best co-host of all time, Kyle Bhawan. How you doing, brother?
Hey, I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling happy, and I'm also feeling some hate. Okay, yesterday I said I hated no NHL team. It's been far too long. The Canucks have sucked for so long that there's just no chance for a rivalry to really be brewing. But after yesterday's game, I felt the way, man. I felt as if the Oilers were acting like a bunch of sore losers, and I'm so happy that Rick Toccet put out PP1 in a 5-2 game with 1 minute left to make it 6-2, to really stick it to the Oilers and potentially really end their season. I mean, look at their record. That's horrible. Yes, they have some of the best players in hockey, but that seems like mission impossible for a team that looks fried, looks discouraged, they look like they suck, for real. Anyways, Kyle Bhawan, Trevor Beggs, your Canucks every day. We feeling good, we feeling happy, and we're about to spread some hate. I think some hate. Beggs, take it away.
Oh, man. Well, let me tell you what. The Edmonton Oilers, look, at some point, they're not going to be the 31st ranked team in the NHL, but let's just talk about that for just a second. Let me list the number of teams that have fewer points than the Edmonton Oilers. The San Jose Sharks. That's the list. It was the same on yesterday's show, but I wanted to say it one more time. The Edmonton Oilers, with their 2 wins and 5 points, are the second worst team in the NHL right now. And again, we talked about it on yesterday's show. Everydayers know, but this team was not only a Stanley Cup contender, but a Stanley Cup favorite, according to most betting platforms. Look, the Edmonton Oilers, they're not going to be bad forever. They're eventually going to figure it out, get some more wins, score some more goals. But again, we were talking about this team. Everyone was talking about this team being a Stanley Cup contender. It's their time to get over the hump with McDavid and Draisaitl. They look so far from that right now. Their depth is being tested. Kane looks lost. Connor Brown, who they brought in, I don't even think he played last night. Now they got a bunch of other AHL guys in the lineup. Dylan Holloway, their prospects, got 0 points. Some guy called Lavoie was in the lineup. The defense looks shaky, but that doesn't even talk about their biggest flaw, which is goaltending. The Oilers are going to go nowhere unless they can get at least league average goaltending. And right now they have arguably the worst tandem in hockey. Yes, that's in the league that includes the San Jose Sharks. And you know what? Guess what? It was the Canucks that set the Oilers off the rails early this season.
You're right.
That 8-1 victory. I think, we all looked at it like, it's the first game of the season. Lucky things happen. The Canucks got some bounces, but clearly it was a sign of things to come. The Oilers looked rattled after that game. McDavid was whining after that game about Demko leaving early. They were whining again after this game. This Oilers team is, to use one of my favorite words, discombobulated right now. And you know who I'm thanking for setting the Oilers off course is your Vancouver Canucks.
Yeah, it's our fault that the Edmonton Oilers, are off to such a horrid start. I mean, you're talking about that 8-1 victory, and look at what happened in Game 2. The Oilers tried so hard to beat Casey DeSmith. Who? Casey DeSmith. Who is he? Who is he? I don't know. But the Oilers couldn't beat him, and they also got bad goaltending early on in that game, and I just feel as if losing to the Vancouver Canucks, and again, for the better part of the last 10 years, the Canucks are one of those teams alongside the Arizona Coyotes, right? Like one of the laughing stocks in the NHL. I wonder how that felt to start 0-2 to the hands of again, the Vancouver Canucks, the team that plays on the best coast, the west coast of Canada. And I'm more than surprised that they weren't able to rally after that, because it's only 2 games, but it must have meant a lot to them on the other end of the spectrum when it came from destroying their heart and soul and their spirit early on. And this is like after they lost to Vegas and after they had a summer where they were training hard and doing their thing, and to lose to at the time, the embarrassing / unknown Vancouver Canucks is something that wasn't in the cards. This all being said, if they really want to like switch things up, and I know this is a Canucks show, not an Oilers show. We're not trying to help the Oilers. This is what the Oilers can do, though, okay? They can look at their schedule and be like, okay, we played what? How many games have they played? 11, 12? What's the math, Trevor?
They played 11 games.
11 games, okay? They played 11 games, and 3 of those games were against the best team in hockey, okay? The Vancouver Canucks. It's hard to get off to a good start when your schedule, okay? You should blame the schedule makers. Oilers fans, okay? It's not your fault. It's not your fault. You don't want a McDavid injury? It's not your fault. You're playing the best team in hockey 3 times early on. And man, oh man, I'm going to say it again. The Vancouver Canucks right now, look at it. They got a Selke winner, potentially. They got a Hart Trophy winner, potentially. They got a Norris Trophy winner, potentially. They got an Art Ross Trophy winner, potentially. They got a Jack Adams winner, potentially. They got a Vezina Trophy winner, potentially. The Vancouver Canucks are the best team in hockey right now.
Yeah, I think there's a damn good argument there, Kyle. I mean, you look at the records, the Canucks are the 3rd best team in the NHL right now. Only the Stanley Cup winning Vegas Golden Knights are better at 11-1-1, followed by the Boston Bruins at 10-1-1. Again, your Vancouver Canucks, the 3rd best team. You're waking up wherever you listen to this, whether you're waking up, you're ending your day, you're listening to this right now.
Dude, I woke up hard. I woke up hard.
Best team in the NHL.
I woke up hard.
That's interesting, because yesterday you said that you never wake up hard. So that says something.
The morning wood is back. It's excitement. The blood is flowing. Okay, you don't have to connect all those dots, but I'm correlating them. Okay, it is what it is. I feel like myself, and I think I'm speaking for a lot of people, again, on this side of the world, the West Coast, the best coast of Canada, and just Canuck fans all across the globe. Like, it just feels better to live life when you can hope and escape while watching these games, and it doesn't seem like a mirage. The Canucks have been able to pull this off in so many different ways in 11 games, or 12 games, I'm sorry. They just keep doing their thing, and I think I'm transitioning from being shocked. It's going to take maybe a couple more games, but I'm starting to feel as if I'm getting closer and closer to coming to terms with, again, this team not just acting like they're the best team in the NHL or pretending to be, that no, they have the tools and the mindset, and they're bought in with the coaching staff and their structure to actually pull off what, I mean, if you look at our homepage, man, we said it early on, the Vancouver Canucks are going to win the Stanley Cup. Now, we were high, okay, or drunk. But again, I think I'm getting more and more closer to the fact that this team is literally legit, and it has a lot to do with all the things I said above. And just to say it again, like, the star power on this team is, can I say this? Is it second to none?
Right now, yeah. I mean, what other team right now has, 4 guys in the top 15 of scoring, maybe even 5, right? Pedersen, Hronek, Hughes, Miller, Besser are all up there among league leaders in points right now. And that's not even mentioning Patrick Demko.
No,
what is happening?
Trevor,
what is happening right now in Vancouver, man?
I don't know what's happening, but let's just say this. Again, the team, they're bought in. Rick Tocchet, the coaching staff, Patrick Allvin, Rutherford, everyone that's involved, everyone that's moving the pieces in that building. They've been able to create the right spell, especially early on this season. Good start. So what are we saying now here? Good starts win championships, okay? I'm thinking about championships now, okay? I don't know what's going on. I'm just being a little delusional, but also they're proving me so wrong and also so right when I'm saying things like that. But this team, individually speaking, again, we've seen it for years now. Miller's a great player. We've seen it for years. He's a really good player. Pedersen's a really good player. Individually speaking, he's done that for years. Quinn Hughes, on this side of the world, we've known it. This guy's not a third-tier defenseman. We've already known he's right below Cale Makar for years and years and years. We've seen Demko in the past be that guy, one of those guys individually. They haven't been able to combine all their superpowers and create like a super team. But again, individually speaking, I don't know. I look across the league and I'm like, these guys are kind of like they're stacked. They're like an all-star team. Yo, shout out Jim Benning, man.
It is.
What?
Wow. You know the turntables have really turned when Kyle Bhawan is saying that.
I gotta pray after this game. I gotta pray. I gotta just calm down, okay? Even keel. My bad, Trevor.
No. Let's let the hype train roll out of control. And on the other side, let's talk about, some of the early season success the Canucks have had, both as a team and individually speaking. We're going to highlight a couple of, record-setting things or league-leading things the Canucks are doing.
Can I ask you one more question?
Side.
Can I ask you one more question about the game? Sorry, man. I know I'm all over the place. I want to draw it back to what I talked about when we started this spiel about the Oilers. Okay, so were you at all questioning Toccet's decision to put on PP1? The power play unit that's been torturing the NHL at that point in the game. Okay, we're talking about 5-2, 1 minute left. Where's the respect in the game? Where's the class? You never want to run up the score, quote unquote, right? Did you question that at all? Because for me, personally speaking, I don't know if Toccet's doing that against any other team, but the Oilers, again, they were acting like a bunch of sore losers. They already complained early on about the Canucks early on in the season. Toccet did that on purpose.
The rivalry is renewed, man. Honestly, the rivalry is renewed, and it might not seem like a rivalry right now with the Canucks being the third best team in the NHL and the Oilers being the second worst team. But again, these are teams that there was completely different outlooks for both squads entering the season. And yeah, I think, if it's the San Jose Sharks, it's a bit different, okay? Like, you feel bad for them. They're a bottom feeder. The Oilers are a bottom feeder that should be a contender. So no, you piled up on the Oilers. Goal differential matters. And, making a statement against your rivals, especially when they were whining about you post-game, which they'd done earlier this season, that stuff all matters. So, no, I did not question it whatsoever, and I'm happy that Rick Tocchet did that because, again, hockey is fun again for your Vancouver Canucks. And F those Edmonton Oilers, man. I hope they actually, let's one more quick question. No need to elaborate, Kyle. One more quick question before we cut to the other side here. Are the Oilers making the playoffs this season?
Okay, look, I've said it so many times, over the past handful of years, like 2 or 3 years, hockey viewing for me has been part-time-ish, okay? I went 26 years being a full-time hockey viewer pretty much, and I took the last 2 or 3 years kind of off, part-time, living life, doing my thing, right? Trying to figure things out. This all being said, one person that was keeping me connected with the game was not Trevor Beggs or just Trevor Beggs. It was actually Connor McDavid. I'm a huge Connor McDavid fan. I think he's so great for the game, and he can do the most, right? And we've seen him do the most, but not a lot, and I still feel as if him alongside Draisaitl can combine to do the impossible, and that would be digging the Oilers out of this hole. But that team, I mean, this is not a therapy session for the Oilers, but they need to just calm down, relax, Don't chase the game. Think about this, right? The Oilers were in control of yesterday's game. There's no chance of us being this happy this morning if Demko isn't 96 overall yesterday, if he's not one of the best goalies in the league. But you saw the Canucks, take advantage of poor goaltending. And I know I'm elaborating, but let me just carry on. The Canucks took advantage of poor goaltending, scored a couple of goals, and the Oilers just kind of folded. And it's like, if they want to turn it around, they got to realize that they do have the tools, they do have the speed, they do have the attack. They just got to stick to their game and kind of play this out. I'll tie this back in with the Vancouver Canucks. So there was a time and point where Pettersson was really struggling, and when he got out of the hole, I think like 16 months ago, they asked him, like, what happened? And he just said he stuck to his game. He didn't try changing anything. He just stuck to it. And I think the Oilers just got to calm down. And if you're seeing, like, the top-end guys being that pissed off or that stupid, I mean, they're taking dumb penalties. You get what I'm saying? That's the Oilers, bro. Why are you going after Pius Suter in a 2-goal game? If you're Connor McDavid. Anyways.
Because they're rattled, man. Because they're rattled. I'm going to say this. I think the Oilers do make the playoffs as a wild card team, but they ain't going anywhere right now with that goaltending duo. And with that defense and with that depth, man, like this Oilers team is just being exposed right now. And again, I think luck's going to turn eventually because, they're generating shots, they're generating chances, but this ain't the Stanley Cup contender that everyone thought they were. The Canucks, they might be a Stanley Cup contender, But more on that on another episode of Locked On Canucks. On the other side, we're going to talk about some of the record-setting stuff the Canucks are doing, some of the league-leading stuff that's going on with this team right now. But before we do that, I got to let you know, score early this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 money line bet. That's $150 if your team wins. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. Okay, I know this is an NFL-based fan read, but I wanted to pull up the Stanley Cup betting odds right now. The Vancouver Canucks are tied for the 15th highest odds of winning the Stanley Cup with the Minnesota Wild and the Calgary Flames. Are you kidding me? Like I said, this team is still getting disrespected. Vegas does not have these guys favored. So if you believe in your Canucks and you want to, throw a few bucks on them winning the Stanley Cup, they're plus 4,000 to do so right now. Meaning a $10 bet will get you back $400. Make sure you go do it on FanDuel. Their app, it's so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, including spreads, player props, overs, unders, and more. So visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and kick off the NFL season. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
Okay, you're back on another episode of Locked On Canucks. My name's Kyle Bhawan. That right there is Trevor Beggs. But more importantly, this is the show that gives you your Canucks every day. Speaking about your Canucks, I don't think I've lived this life as a professional walker. If people don't know, I'm a professional walker, okay? I do my thing out there. That being said, I only started walking professionally at the age of, 22, 23? At the age and time in which the Canucks pretty much started sucking and not being important. This all being said, they're important now, and I'm gonna remind myself on this walk that, man, oh man, this is the first time in your life where you're like this adult, and the team that you cheer for / has produced so many good memories for you in your childhood is back to doing its thing. And again, that's providing escapism, man. I'm happy that a lot of us, because again, this is the show with the West Coast bias. Screw the rest. If you're here from another side, welcome, but this ain't really for you. A lot of us are experiencing what we deserve, and that's just good hockey and, more notably, something to do. Something to do throughout the hockey season that isn't miserable. Okay, the game's not on in the background, right? While you're worrying about something else in your life. Like, you're just zoned in on the game and the feeling. Like, you talked about this yesterday, Trevor. I was texting you, and you told me, like, oh, I can tell, Kyle, like, you're getting nervous again. Like, your heart is being filled up again, a.k.a. I'm back to feeling like myself, man.
Yeah, and I think that text was in regards to you being a little nervous about the Canucks entering the third period with, was it a 3-2 lead at the time, or was it 4? It was 4-2, sorry. And then the Oilers make it 4-3, but it ends up being called back on a kicked-in goal, and the rest is history. The Canucks end up winning that game. And yeah, they're doing some record-setting stuff early on in the season. So here's how I want to go about it, Kyle, okay?
Trevor's trivia starts now.
Oh, man.
All right, so let's have some fun with this. You might have seen some stuff on Twitter, or maybe you read
I don't have Twitter.
Stuff for Daily Hive.
I don't have Twitter right now. I deleted the app, so like I don't know what's going on. I don't know these stats. So let's test me out, okay? Don't make me look so bad right now, okay? Right. A lot of people are watching right now.
All right. I might be damn impressed if you get this then. So can you tell me the last team with a plus 30 goal differential through 12 games?
Damn, we have a plus 30. We have a plus 30 goal differential right now?
Plus 30 goal differential through 12 games. And this hasn't been done since.
Last team? Okay, give me the year.
1984-85.
1984. Oh, the Oilers?
Yeah, the Edmonton Oilers had a plus 39 goal differential through 12 games in 84-85. And guess what? They went on to win the Stanley Cup that year. Just thought I'd throw that out there. Okay, that's a fun little Trevor's trivia fact to start your morning right there.
Dude, somebody told me that the last Canuck team to start 8-1 was a Canuck team that didn't make the playoffs. So
yeah, it was 05-06. But hey, guess what?
Let's not go there.
Yeah, let's not go there. Plus, the Canucks are now 9-1. They're officially off to their best, 12-game start in franchise history.
Okay, Trevor, hockey nerd. I'm going to ask you, though, hockey nerd. Okay, so plus 30 goal differential hasn't happened since 84, 85.
Through 12 games.
Like through 12 games, I know. But, okay, so, like, how does that make you feel? Is that like confusing you, or like are you?
I'm just elated, man. Look at me. The lights are off in my office and the sun's just shining on me, man. I can barely see you. I'm blinded right now, but I'm also blinded by love and passion for these Vancouver Canucks. I also got the love for Quinn Hughes, who I think might be the front runner for the Hart right now. I'm just gonna say it, but the reason I'm bringing up Quinn Hughes is he had another 4-point game last night against the Oilers. So he now has 3 games in his career of having 4 points or more. Obviously, one of them was last week when he had 5 against the San Jose Sharks. He now has the most 4+ point games in Canucks history among defensemen. Can you name, and I'd be impressed with that, can you name any of the other 4 defensemen who had multiple 4-point games? There are 4 of them in Canucks history.
Christian Ehrhoff?
Yeah, one I'd be impressed.
Christian Ehrhoff?
No.
Oh, why? Because they're all from the past? Like, all from the past?
Yeah, they're all like 90s and before, yeah.
90s?
If you get one, I'd be impressed. I'll tell you the other ones. I didn't even recognize one of these names.
Damn. Okay.
and I'm a pretty hardcore hockey nerd.
Dale Talon? I don't know.
Dale Talon had one, but he didn't have multiple ones.
Okay.
You want one more guess?
No, I don't.
No. Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. So the defensemen, there were 4 other defensemen in Canucks history that had multiple 4+ point games. They were Jeff Brown, Rick Lanz, Doug Howard, and then this guy didn't even recognize Claire Alexander.
Ooh.
What? Unbelievable. Claire Alexander played 1 season for the Canucks, played 32 games for the Canucks in 77, 78, and somehow he's had 2 games of 4+ points in that span. So
dude, are you sure
that one rattled me?
Are you sure he didn't play for the Vancouver Millionaires? With that name, dude? Come on, man.
No, he seriously, man. I know not too many men named Claire nowadays. I don't see that too often, but hey, that's all right.
That's actually a nice
but yeah,
name.
back in
That's a nice name.
Yeah, I agree, man. But yeah, back in 1978, Claire Alexander had 2 games of 4 points. But anyways, Hughes now has the record in that department with 3 career games of 4+ points, which is record-setting among Canucks blue liners. Let me flip to Brock Besser quickly, okay? Brock Besser now has 10 bingos on the season.
Damn.
He is tied solely for second place in the NHL, only behind Austin Matthews, who has 13 goals this season. How many games did it take Besser to hit 10 goals last season?
Holy, I think I'm going to say 51.
Yeah, you're in the ballpark. It was 44 games.
Yeah.
He didn't hit the 10-goal mark until February last season.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I was trying to do the math. I was like, sometime in late January, early February, that's when he hits that number. And yeah, Brock Besser, man. Beggsy, I think it was maybe 10 episodes ago, I kind of called him out. Or I kind of compared him to what I'd want him to be, and that was more of like a Tyler Toffoli type of guy, just being slightly more visible instead of just being a component on a good line. And I don't know if you heard that episode, but this guy is, I said it yesterday, he was coming off of the best game I've seen him play since like rookie Brock Besser, and he didn't even score a goal in that game against Dallas. And what he's doing right now is so impressive. And if he's able to take his game, and I like to use the NHL rating system just to kind of prove my point, because I'm just Kyle Bound, okay? I don't got the language, all right? But if he could take his game from like a 84 overall, which was, expected and like I think we were content with this season, if he can take it from there though to like an 87 or an 88, I mean, there you go, man. It's cup or bust, man. For real, I'm excited, man.
Cup or bust, and seriously, man, I love the hype, man. I love the hype. I'll also say this: Brock Besser now has 3 multi-goal games this season. He had 1 multi-goal game last year. In November against the LA Kings. He didn't score more than 1 goal in a game throughout the entire season last year. So again, Brock Besser looks completely revitalized right now. And it's just another factor why the Canucks are one of the best teams in the league. I got one more quick stat for your question for you, Kyle, here on Trevor's Trivia. Brock Besser now has 5 power play goals. He's tied for the league lead with one other guy. Can you name the player that he's tied with right now?
Tyler Toffoli.
I'll give you a hint. It's not Toffoli. I'll give you a hint. We played the team this season. I think he might have actually scored a power play goal against us, but I'm not. Actually, no. I think another guy scored it, but we played the team this season.
Is it like an obscure name, like somebody that wouldn't be?
No, it's a guy who's been a pretty top power play producer for a while now. Not like among like the elite stars of the league, but definitely a big time power play producer.
Damn. I was gonna say like
Eastern Conference.
I was gonna say Kucherov, but like Yeah, like he's elite.
Oh,
He's
Kucherov would be a good guess, but I believe he has 4 power play goals right now.
Go ahead.
Besser is tied with Chris Kreider.
Okay.
Chris Kreider has 5 power play goals so far this season. I was thinking Kreider scored against the Canucks, but I think it was Panarin that scored on the power play against the Canucks. Anyway, It doesn't matter. Brock Besser, again, lighting it up on the power play. His career high in terms of power play goals, by the way, is 11, which he posted in 2021-22. That was the year where, he had some good power play production, but had like 4th line production at even strength. But again, everything is going right for Brock Besser right now. So none of that matters. You know what does matter, Kyle? The people, okay? The people matter, okay? I want to hear what our commenters have to say. So let's wrap up the show. And before we get to that, I got to let you know, a new NHL season brings all sorts of possibilities. Brock Besser could score 50 goals. The Canucks could, and will hoist the Stanley Cup.
Whoa.
And you could also win big by playing daily fantasy hockey on Sleeper, the official daily fantasy app of the Locked On NHL network. Sleeper is my #1 choice for daily fantasy sports, and especially daily fantasy hockey, because with Sleeper, you can win 100 times your cash in daily fantasy hockey contests. All you have to do is pick whether studs like Brock Besser, Andrei Kuzmenko, or Elias Pettersson will record more or less in their sleeper projections for things like goals, assists, saves, plus minus, and more in a given game. For saves, you might want to pick Demko right now because that guy is on a heater.
Mm-hmm.
To win 100 times bet on Sleeper, you need to correctly predict the outcome of 8 player stats. You heard me, Canucks fans. You could win 100 times your money playing daily fantasy hockey with Sleeper. So start paying attention and nail your picks so you can start winning big. Use promo code LOCKEDONNHL and you'll get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. That's code LOCKEDONNHL. See Sleeper's terms of use for details and locational availability.
Okay, you're back on another episode of Locked On Canucks. My name's Kyle Bhawan. That right there is Trevor Beggs. And more importantly, this is the show that gives you your Canucks every day. Like and subscribe if you did enjoy the episode. If you didn't, don't do it. Don't do it, okay? Let's save the world with one less lie at a time. Stop lying to yourself and do more of this, okay? If you want to save the world, I think it's the little things that do matter. And I do want you, if you're listening to this or watching this, to go over to a friend and ask him this question, or she this question, okay? How you doing?
I've never been better, man. I've never been better. No, that's maybe an exaggeration, but life feels good right now, man. Blessed with my beautiful family and blessed with my Vancouver Canucks and blessed to be sitting here beside you talking about the best team in the NHL.
Yo,
let's go, man. Let's go.
Look at what you did there, man. You said, I'm blessed, have a beautiful family, and blessed to have a great team. You don't even play on this team, bro. I know what you're saying, though, man. It's
my team.
Bro, like, again, Trevor and I, 30 years old. We're virgins in our 30s, like metaphorically speaking, okay? We just got here, okay? And
I see.
You get what I'm saying? Like, this is a new era of our lives. Like, 30s are a bit different, and Beggsy and I also went through our whole 20s. Not viewing or experiencing anything really meaningful with the Vancouver Canucks. It was pretty like you couldn't make that stuff up. Like, you couldn't never predict that. It's something that we'll never get back. And now we're here, a bit more mature, a bit more older. Trevor's got a family, and he's comparing the joy that the team is bringing to the joy his family brings him. And it's not surprising because the first thing that we did fall in love with, again, and you're on the same boat too, most likely if you're watching and listening to this, the first thing that you fell in love with was the Vancouver Canucks. And right now, I'm not just like falling way back in love with the Vancouver Canucks. I'm picking the Canucks over everything, man. I gotta escape, man. What's that new term in 2023? I think it's something like your inner child. I'm tapping into that. I'm also tapping into the comments, okay? Komment Korner, my favorite part of the show. Let's get into it. I'm Locked On Canucks.
Welcome to Komment Korner, powered by Paraphrasing.
This comment comes from Ross.
Senators fan here. Just want to say I take back what I said about the Canucks and fully understand the powers of Pettersson and Hughes. To be honest, I didn't even know Quinn Hughes was an NHL player before this season. Anyways, I'm so jealous of your success.
the Senators, the Ottawa Senators. Remember, way back when, we threw a rivalry episode with those guys, right? Who's going to win the Stanley Cup first? It was a bit of a pillow fight, a Canadian battle. Nonetheless, we had a lot of people in the comments from the Ottawa side of things, right? Because at the time when we were dropping episodes like that, Canucks fans weren't feeling swaggy, you know? They didn't want to get into the battlegrounds in the comment section. They were allowing the Senators fans to populate that section and just come at us for thinking that Quinn Hughes was a better player than Brady Tkachuk, because there are people in Ottawa prior to the start of this season that actually believe that. They actually believe that Brady Tkachuk, who's a great player, I love watching Brady Tkachuk play. That guy is a true warrior, was better than Quinn Hughes. And man, oh man, not only are they so wrong, they got to come to grips with the fact that the Canucks stars, all of them, are way better than the stars that you have in Ottawa.
Yeah, it's not even close right now. And I think when we had that debate, I was easily on Team Canucks, right? I would have Hughes and Pettersson.
You and I were the only ones. You and I were the only ones.
Yeah.
Where were all of our fans?
Yeah.
They were hiding. They didn't want to get involved.
Yeah, our Canucks, and I get it though, right? A decade of pain in this market. At least the Senators, what was it, 2017 when they were last in the Eastern Conference Finals? I know they've sucked since then, but maybe the scar tissue is just not as I guess it's more raw in Ottawa. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of scar tissue in this market. But again, like we said it, and I don't think we predicted this, right? Hughes and Pettersson.
No, we did.
And even Miller. I think
we did. We did, bro. Like, bro. Beggsy, give yourself some credit, okay? Because you were way more delusional than me. I'm high on Petey and Hughes. I've been so high on them for years and years, and I'm propping them up to be, better than the Suitslas and the Tkachuks, 93, 94 overall. But you were the one saying that Pettersson's going to put up 120 points, and dig it up. I don't even know if you were drunk during this moment. You said, I think you were the only one in all of hockey that said Quinn Hughes will put up 100 points. You actually said that. Like, yeah, I remember it.
Yeah.
So give yourself some credit, man.
True. Thanks, buddy. Thanks. I kind of forgot about that for a second, but yeah, in that debate, I think it was Hughes, Pettersson, Miller versus Stützle, Tkachuk, and Sanderson, and it's like, who'd you rather have? And youth was on Ottawa's side because Miller's 30 years old, but I still chose Hughes, Pettersson, and Miller because of the belief in Hughes and Pettersson.
Mm-hmm.
And again, maybe I should be saying that they were MVP level, because if you have a defenseman putting up 100 points, and if you have a guy like Pettersson putting up 120 points, it's both guys are on pace to pass that right now, then yeah, they should easily be in the MVP conversation. And we might do that on another episode of Locked On Canucks here if this keeps up, because yeah, I think it might be Hughes and Pettersson who are neck and neck to be MVPs of the NHL right now.
Yeah, and I'm not going to spend so much time bashing the Ottawa Senators because I kind of like them. And, the Locked On Senators brothers, I really consider them brothers. I want them to view good hockey games, and I want that team to do well. I said it off the top. I don't have any hate for really any NHL team out there. Like, do well, Ottawa. And I think it's going to come when, because I've seen a couple of their games. They've been on TV a lot. Dude, it's that whole, I know we were preaching it in the summer. The Canucks were, but it's like structure, It's like the team's not bought into a style of play that allows their stars to take advantage of, opportunities and mishaps from the other team. Like, they're just too scrambly. It's like they're playing, like rec league hockey, and then relying on their stars. And without the structure, I don't know if they're going to go anywhere. And it's a damn shame because we're about to play the Ottawa Senators next, and we're going to see it. Like, Brady Tkachuk, he is a guy, I know it's easy to say because we see the points and the stats and whatnot in his pedigree, but he's such an outlier in the NHL. I would love to have a guy like that on the team. Like, yo.
Oh, real. Yeah. There's not many power forwards like that in
so
hockey anymore.
He's so good.
Yeah. And I think, Kyle, as the week goes on, especially on Thursday, we'll talk more about the Senators and Canucks. But I think you and we both got to get out of here.
We gotta go.
If I keep this up, man, I'm gonna float up into the ceiling, man, because I'm so high of optimism, man. I feel like I got helium in my lungs right now talking about these Vancouver Canucks. But again, that was another episode of Locked On Canucks. Thanks again for joining us. Coming up this week, I do want to talk about the Canucks and Senators, maybe preview a bit of their Eastern Canadian road swing. I know the topic there is going to be the Canucks are Canada's team, baby. Let's go. Some of the other topics on my mind, Hughes and Pettersson for MVP conversation. The bottom six is putting it together. Do the Canucks actually need another defenseman in their lineup? That's all coming up this week on Locked On Canucks. But for now, I'm Trevor Beggs. That guy's Kyle Bhawan, and you've been listening to Locked On Canucks. Let's go, F the Oilers.
Whoa.